It is the end of an era and the beginning of a revolution that is going to shake the very foundations of the House of Windsor. For decades, we have looked at the royal family as a bastion of unmovable tradition, a place where protocol rules supreme, and where the ghosts of the past dictate the actions of the present. But Prince William, the man who will one day wear the crown, has just sent a signal so clear and so powerful that it has the courtiers trembling in their boots. The Prince of Wales is preparing to tear up the rulebook. He is preparing to dismantle the stuffy, outdated, and frankly ridiculous rituals that have defined the royal Christmas for a century. We are hearing reports that when William ascends the throne, the Victorian style of holiday is going into the dustbin of history. We are talking about the end of the hierarchy games. We are talking about the end of the black tie dinners where you have to dress like you are going to a state banquet just to eat turkey. This is the Kate Middleton effect in full swing. It is the triumph of normalcy over stiffness. And while King Charles clings to the nostalgia of his mother's reign, William is looking forward with a ruthless determination to make the monarchy survive in the modern world. This isn't just about Christmas. This is about survival. This is about showing the world that the Wales family is relatable, grounded, and completely different from the soap opera drama we see from the ex-royals in California. Welcome back to the channel, the only place where we peel back the velvet curtains and show you the real machinery of the monarchy. We don't just read the headlines, we analyze the strategy. If you believe that Prince William has the strength and the vision to lead this family into the next century, and if you support his move to modernize the firm, smash that subscribe button right now. Let's get into the story that is changing the face of the royal holiday forever. We have received explosive details about the future of the royal Christmas, and it centers entirely on Prince William's vision for a laid-back monarchy. According to sources close to the palace, the Prince of Wales is set to scrap one of the most bizarre and long-standing traditions at Sandringham. For years, we have heard stories about the royal family's Christmas Eve ritual. They gather in the white drawing room, and they exchange joke gifts. It sounds fun, right? It sounds like a laugh. But there is a catch. There is a rigid, almost medieval hierarchy involved. The gifts are laid out on trestle tables, and the order in which you receive your gift is dictated by your rank in the family. The monarch goes first, then the immediate heirs, and so on down the line. It is a visual representation of the pecking order. Even on Christmas Eve, even when the cameras are off, you are reminded of your place. You are reminded that you are number 4, or number 10, or number 20. Sources are now reporting that Prince William hates this. He finds it antiquated, he finds it stuffy, and he plans to get rid of it the moment he becomes king. The report states that while the idea of giving cheap, funny gifts might remain, because the Windsors do love a bit of humor, the hierarchical aspect is set to go. William doesn't want his children or his nieces and nephews standing around waiting for the important people to open their presents first. He wants a family Christmas, not a state procession in the living room. An insider told the press, while William's mind is on much bigger changes than just the trestle table, it's well known to be one of those antiquated traditions that he's never really taken to. You can expect that to be one of the first things to go when he eventually hosts his first Sandringham Christmas. This is fascinating because it gives us a window into William's psychology. He is a man who has straddled two worlds. He was raised in the hyper-formal world of Queen Elizabeth II, where duty and rank were everything, but he has created a private life with Catherine that is remarkably normal. We know that William and Kate prefer their time at Anmer Hall, their country home in Norfolk. At Anmer Hall, things are different. They spend time with the Middletons, Carol and Michael. And let's be honest, the Middletons have been the saving grace for William. They taught him what a real, loving, supportive family looks like. At the Middleton Christmas, you don't line up by rank. You don't bow to your grandmother before you open a box of chocolates. You sit on the floor, you wear a jumper, you play board games, you laugh. William wants that energy for the monarchy. He knows that the public doesn't relate to a family that eats dinner in black tie on Christmas Eve. And that is the other tradition on the chopping block. The report confirms that the formal black tie dinner on the night before Christmas is likely to be scrapped under King William V. Can you imagine? It's Christmas Eve. You want to relax. You want to have a drink by the fire. But under the current Sandringham rules, you have to go upstairs, put on a tuxedo, put on a ball gown, put on your jewelry, and come down for a formal seated dinner, where the seating plan is, once again, based on hierarchy. It is exhausting. It is performing royalty for an audience of no one. The source notes that King Charles has continued these traditions for now, and that makes sense. Charles is a traditionalist. He does it for the nostalgia. He does it to honor the memory of his late mother, Queen Elizabeth. For Charles, the ritual is the point. He finds comfort in the structure, and William, being the dutiful son, respects that. He plays along, he puts on the tux, he waits his turn at the trestle table. But the quote from the insider is telling. It's just not William's way of doing things at home, and he has apparently quipped in the past that he wouldn't continue any of that stuff. This is the key difference between William and his brother Harry. Harry railed against the traditions, he complained about them, he wrote a book whining about how he felt trapped by the hierarchy, but he did nothing constructive to change it. He just ran away and sold the story. William is playing the long game. He is staying within the system, respecting his father's time, but silently preparing to overhaul the entire machine when he gets the keys. It is a much more mature, much more dangerous form of rebellion. It is the rebellion of the reformer, not the anarchist. And speaking of cleaning house, the report regarding this year's Christmas brings us some absolutely massive news regarding Prince Andrew. If we are talking about scrapping outdated things, it seems the king is finally ready to scrap the presence of his disgraced brother. The source material confirms that one major change to this year's Christmas family gathering is that Andrew Mountbatten Windsor will not be in attendance. Let that sink in. For years, Andrew has been the lingering ghost at the feast. Despite the scandals, despite the Jeffrey Epstein connections, despite the stripping of his titles, he was still allowed to walk to church. He was still allowed at the lunch. The Queen protected him. And even Charles, in the early days of his reign, seemed reluctant to fully banish him. But the tide has turned. Following the dramatic removal of his brother's royal privileges, the king has reportedly drawn a line. The source says Andrew and Sarah Ferguson are set to be kicked out of their royal lodge home. Now, we know Andrew is fighting this tooth and nail, clinging to the lease, but the writing is on the wall. The report states Andrew will eventually be moved to a property on the private Sandringham estate, while Fergie has been told to make her own plans. But the crucial line is this. This, however, is set to happen after Christmas, meaning the disgraced pair will have one last Christmas at Royal Lodge and keeps Andrew and Fergie away from Sandringham during the festive period. This is a subtle but brutal distinction. They might be at Royal Lodge, which is nearby, but they are being kept away from the main Sandringham gathering. They are geographically close, but socially exiled. It is the ultimate cold shoulder. This aligns perfectly with William's vision. We know from multiple sources over the years that William is the hardliner when it comes to Andrew. William was the one who insisted Andrew not appear at the Garter Day ceremony. William is the one who knows that you cannot have a modern monarchy if you are harboring a man with Andrew's reputation. So when we look at these two stories together, the scrapping of the hierarchy gifts and the exclusion of Andrew, we see a clear picture of the future. The William era will be leaner, cleaner, and much less tolerant of nonsense. The exclusion of Andrew also highlights the Anmer Hall strategy. William and Kate have effectively created a rival court in Norfolk. By hosting the Middletons and focusing on their own children, they have insulated themselves from the toxicity of the wider family drama. They are building a nuclear family unit that is impenetrable. Think about how this plays to the public. The British people are facing a cost of living crisis. They are working hard. When they see William and Kate driving themselves to church or hear that they prefer a sweater to a tuxedo, they see themselves. It bridges the gap. Contrast this with the Sussexes in Montecito. Harry and Meghan talk a big game about being progressive and modern, but look at how they live. They live in a massive mansion that rivals a palace. They demand royal titles for their children. They demand security. They demand the perks of the hierarchy while rejecting the duty. William is doing the opposite. He is accepting the duty, the supreme duty of kingship, while rejecting the perks of the hierarchy that make him feel superior to others. He wants to be a king of the people, not a king of the trestle table. This shift also protects his children. Prince George is the future king. But William and Kate are terrified of the spare syndrome. They are terrified of creating jealousy between the siblings. By removing the hierarchy gift tradition, where the heir gets the best spot and the others wait, William is leveling the playing field for George, Charlotte, and Louis. He is teaching them that at home, they are equals. They are just brothers and sister. This is crucial for their mental health. It is a lesson William wishes he had learned earlier, instead of being pitted against Harry by the system. The influence of Kate Middleton cannot be overstated here. This middle-class takeover of the royal Christmas is entirely her doing, and I mean that as the highest compliment. She has shown William that you can have dignity without stiffness. She has shown him that a family dinner can be chaotic and loud and fun, and the world won't end. The report mentions that the king appreciates the nostalgia, and that is fair. For Charles, these traditions connect him to his parents. He grew up in a world where you changed clothes 5 times a day. It is hard to break the habits of a lifetime at age 75, but Charles is also a pragmatist. He knows that his reign is the bridge. He knows that his job is to keep the ship afloat until William takes the wheel, and he seems to be giving William the space to signal these changes now. Allowing the leaks about the end of the traditions is a way of preparing the public. It's a soft launch of the future reign. It tells us, don't worry, we are changing with the times. But let's go back to the Andrew situation, because it really is the headline of the holiday. One last Christmas at Royal Lodge. That sounds ominous, doesn't it? It sounds like an eviction notice wrapped in tinsel. Prince Andrew has been holding on to that property like a limpet. He has refused to move into Frogmore Cottage. He thinks he can wait out the king. But if he is being excluded from the family gathering, his power is gone. A prince without access to the king is just a man in a big crumbling house. And Sarah Ferguson? The report says she was told to make her own plans. That is a stinging rebuke. For a while, it looked like Fergie was being rehabilitated. She was invited to church last year. She was seen smiling with the family. But clearly something has shifted. Perhaps the modernizers, William and Kate, have decided that the baggage of the Yorks is just too heavy to carry into 2026. This Christmas at Sandringham is going to be a fascinating study in power dynamics. You have the king holding on to the past with his black tie dinners and hierarchy tables. You have the Prince of Wales dutifully attending but plotting a more relaxed future. And you have the empty chairs where Andrew and Harry used to sit, reminders that if you cannot abide by the rules of the institution, or if you betray the family, you are cut out. The scrapping of the cheap gift hierarchy might seem like a small detail. Graham Smith from Republic might say it doesn't matter, but symbols matter. In a monarchy, symbols are everything. When William eventually scraps that tradition, he will be sending a message to every courtier, every staff member, and every family member. Meritocracy matters more than rank. Family matters more than protocol. It creates a monarchy that is leaner, more agile, and less obsessed with its own reflection. It is the only way the institution survives the 21st century. And honestly, I think we can all agree that black tie on Christmas Eve is a bit much. Who wants to worry about a bow tie when you've just eaten 3 mince pies? William is right. Put on the Christmas pajamas, pour a glass of wine, and relax. It is going to be very interesting to see if any photos emerge from Anmer Hall this year. If we see a relaxed, casual family photo of the Waleses, contrasting with the formal walk to church, we will know that the soft revolution is underway. William is playing a blinder. He is keeping the loyalists happy by supporting his father, but he is winning over the younger generation by promising a less stuffy future. He is showing that he listens. He is showing that he learns. Harry must be looking at this news with a mix of jealousy and confusion. He spent years saying the family was trapped in a zoo. He said they couldn't change. And yet, here is William, the heir, changing it. William is proving that you don't have to burn the palace down to renovate it. You just have to be patient, smart, and have a vision. So this Christmas, as you sit down with your own families, spare a thought for the Windsors. They are a family in transition. They are a family navigating the space between the Victorian era and the Instagram era, and leading the charge with a determined jaw and a plan for the future is Prince William. The outdated traditions are on notice. The disgraced uncles are on the outs. And the future looks surprisingly normal. I want to know what you think. Is William right to scrap the black tie dinner and the hierarchy gifts? Or do you think the royals should be formal and different from the rest of us? And what do you make of Andrew being excluded from the main gathering? Is it finally time for him to leave Royal Lodge? Let me know in the comments below. I read every single one of them. If you think William is making the right moves to save the monarchy, hit that like button and share this video. Subscribe to the channel for more Royal Insider updates. Until next time, have a wonderful and hopefully relaxed holiday season. Keep your eyes on the palace.